and I've been doing it ever since. I'm not just marketing six-figure mentors, because all out there is a brilliant commission plan and it's a great product in itself. It is all about marketing on the internet, so I do market other products, other software products and other training product as well. One of those is one of the things that I'm going to demonstrate today, which is Post Planner, and I started marketing that recently after using it for about 6 months, because I still think it's a really brilliant product. It's not perfect, but the things it does are so good that I don't care about the little odd things that it does occasionally. I'm also from an IT background. I got 20 years in IT, so I'm probably a better techie than I am a marketer, and probably the way that I think, because I'm from a very technical background, doesn't always help me on the marketing side, but nevertheless, I know how to do things. So, so I'm a full-time internet marketer. I run the e-commerce site. Sometimes I do a few other things. I also, some of you might know me because I also look after the plugins on YMS. So if somebody needs a plugin, I'm the sort of frontline support for that, and I communicate with tech support on the SFM side to get things installed, or sometimes I vet them first, because there are some plugins that are just not suitable for YMS, or just won't work, or they're too old and won't work on the current version. So quite a few of you might know me from that. So I think that's a pretty good summary. If anybody's got any questions about me or anything, or the plugins later on, if they want to sort of come out and say anything about that, then that's fine. I'll try and answer those things. Cool. But if you like, I'm pretty much ready to show people and talk a bit about Post Planner.
Okay, I am gonna make you the presenter right now. We're pretty excited too, because this is something that we've never done either. So yeah, if, you need any support, we'll be right here. We might mute ourselves up just so you have a little bit better sound, but other than that, the floor is all yours, Stuart.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen, and hopefully you can see my Facebook with Post Planner.
Yep.
Everybody see that?
We see it perfectly over here. Yep.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Okay, I'll tell you roughly what Post Planner does, and why I think it's so awesome. It lets you schedule out posts. It lets you schedule out posts to post them in the very near future, and it lets you repeat the posting of those posts. So I can say set up a post to be posted out now, and I can set it up so it'll be posted out in 3 days time, or 5 days time, or 10 days time, and I can keep it doing that for a month, 6 months, a year, whatever I want. That's half the power of it. The other thing that makes it really, really powerful is I can post out to many, many destinations. I can post out to lots of groups. I can post out to fan pages that will let me post to them. I can post to my own profile and post to my own fan pages. So, for example, if I have 100 groups that I regularly post to, I can post out to those groups in 3 minutes, and I can set repeat posts to go out every 5 days or 25 days, like I said before. So, to give you an idea of the amount of time that can save, I recently sold a copy of this to somebody I'm kind of mentoring a little bit. She was posting out on Facebook, because that's her main marketing medium at the moment. She was spending 5 hours a day posting. It now takes her less than 30 minutes a day that she's spending, and that's because she's still sort of getting to know Post Planner a little bit. So I reckon you can reduce many days a year you spend on Facebook down to minutes, really, and that is so powerful. I'll show you how it works now, because seeing how it works is going to make it more obvious, I think, more easy to understand. So you can now see the sort of main posting box of Post Planner, and you can post the status. So you can say, I'm going to post the status now. I'm going to go, I'm doing a great webinar, I hope, on Post Planner. So I'm just going to post that out as a status Funny how it never likes the word webinar in the spell checker. So, and I'm going to post that out to, well, at the moment, by default, it's going to my profile, which is this little photograph up here. Am I starting to echo on people? No, it's gone away. I started here. Okay. And I'm going to drop down and I'm going to post that to my fan page as well. So I've got 2 destinations that I'm going to post that to. But I could pick out groups. I've got lots of groups here. And I could pick out some of those groups. But I know you can see the little blue boxes there which indicate it's a group. But that's going to take me a little while. So you can also see if I mouse over them, it shows you what the group names are. But that's going to take me a while. So I'm going to remove those because another really powerful thing is I made up a list of groups earlier, well, months ago really, which in my case is just a list of all the groups that I've got that are current and suitable for me mass posting to. So if I click all groups, you can see I've got in, well, I know it's roughly 160 or so groups I've got here. So I'm ready to post out this status to 160 groups. Now if I hit the button, if I hit the post now button, it will go out to all these groups straight away, all of them at the same time. But I might not want to do that. So I can click this little timer button down here, and I can pick a time when it goes out. So maybe I don't want it to go out today because I've already posted quite a lot of stuff today. So I'll delay it till tomorrow. And I can pick a time as well. It's 8 in the evening. So if I know a good time, an optimum time, is say, I don't know, 5 o'clock roughly in the afternoon, then I can schedule it to go out then. So I've picked my date and I can repeat that post. So maybe I want to send it out again. Well, I wouldn't with this one, but let's just say I did for now. I could schedule it for 10 days. I could keep it going out every 10 days up to, say, the end of October. I'm not actually going to post this one, I don't think. So I don't really want to do it. It's not relevant for the later dates. Another thing that's really good about that is I might not want to blast it all out. I might want to not cover all the groups because lots of people that are in one group are in another group, so I might not want to blast them. I might want to stagger those posts. So let's say I stagger them for every 10 minutes. So every 10 minutes it will post to another destination. It will post to my default page first, my normal Facebook page, and then 10 minutes later it's going to post to my fan page, and 10 minutes later it will go to the next group. And you can kind of see that because I've already got some posts waiting to go out. There's one that's waiting to go out at 8:10 p.m. and it's going to repeat every 7 days. So this post is going to get repeated to all the groups that I originally posted out to every 7 days. And I put an interval on that of 5 minutes. I can see that because it says here posting out at 8:10 p.m. and then the next one's going out at 8:15 p.m. and the next one is 8:20 p.m. And I can actually scroll around and see other posts that I've got ready, queued up to go out. So what I'll do, anyway, just to show you, I'll take off the intervals, and I'll take off the stagger in this case because if I'm going to send this out, actually I think I'll take it off all the groups. What I'll do, I just want to show you a post going out, but I don't think it's suitable to post out to all the groups as it is. So I'm just going to go back to the beginning. Oops, wrong button. It happened. In fact, I got a small confession to make. Before I did this, before I started on this demonstration, Post Planner broke. I thought it was me. Something going wrong there? I think we're still. Can you still all hear me? Okay.
Yep, we hear you great.
Oh, can you still all hear me? Somebody let me know maybe
Stuart, can you hear me? Yeah, I hear you perfectly fine.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, something I had a funny notice there. Okay, before I start doing this,
Yeah, I hear you perfectly fine.
fantastic. Before I did this, started this demo, I actually thought I'd broken Post Planner. It turned out to be a problem at the other end, at the Post Planner end, and I broke it further by trying to uninstall the app and reinstall it. And I couldn't reinstall it, so I was starting to panic a little bit because I thought, oh, I'm not going to make it in time. So I contacted the guys at Post Planner, and they got back to me straight away. They said, yeah, we know about it, we're trying to fix it. I said, brilliant, and they came back a couple of minutes later and they said, we fixed it. And I said, well, I've screwed my app, so can you give me a link to reinstall it? And they said, it should be all right. No, I said, I've definitely screwed it. They gave me a link, I reinstalled it, and 10 minutes later I'm back in business. And I've had to talk to them before about different things with Post Planner and ideas and suggestions I've had, because I've really bought into this app. I think it's a really great app. And they just gave me fantastic support and got me up and running in time to do this demonstration. So I always think it's important, if you've got a good software product, whatever it is, if the support's good, then you really have got a good product. If the support's bad, then you probably haven't. You probably got something that might be a liability. Anyway, back to the demo. So I'm just going to post this out to my fan page and my normal Facebook timeline. It's asking me, because I've started to make a little list, if I want to give a name to this list. I'm just going to ignore that, and I'm just going to post it now. So there's a little bar here, and there you can see it's ready to go out. And if I refresh this a few times, it'll show me as they go out. They'll disappear from this list. I'll just refresh it and see if one's gone. Maybe they've both gone, so I'll stick to post them immediately. So they've disappeared. Oh no, there they are. They're still there. They haven't gone out yet, but they will go out. They will get posted. It does work. Occasionally, a post will fail, and if that happens, and because I had problems with it earlier, a few did fail. You can actually repost them, or you can see what the problem with the post was. You can see I got error validating access because something went wrong with Post Planner. But down here you've got one that says, oh, that failed to go out because the URL you supplied was invalid. Now I know that the URL in this case wasn't invalid, but I also know that my my blog site has been getting overloaded a little bit lately, and I'm using Pretty Links, and maybe that Pretty Link failed. I also have one group, which is really weird, which it always fails to post to, and I don't know why that is, because if I do it manually, it posts okay. So it's not perfect, but 95% of the time it works great, and it goes out to 95% of the groups. Now I'll do one more post, and I'll show you how it works. And I'm just going to pick my blog site, and I'll just pick the blog, the latest blog. Like this, and copy that, and use that. Put it in there. It just takes that link, and like you would get in a normal Facebook posting box, in a minute, it's going to come up and it's going to. There you go. It's decoded that, so it's brought up the article, and it's given me 1 to 32 images to choose from, and that's the image that I want. Now if I change my mind, and I think I don't want to actually publish it as a link like that, I want to publish it as a photo, I can just click this box here, and it will put the link back up here, and just have a photo, so I can post that as a photo. And again, this is how fast it is. I'm going to post it to my fan book, for example, and I'm going to post it to, oops, all the groups, yeah, as we saw before. Now, that's going to go out. That's 3 minutes to do that. But if I did it manually, you know, it's going to take me hours. There is another thing that I want to show you about the list, because I showed you here a little bit that you can actually make lists by starting a list off here and then giving it a name and saving it. But if I go to settings, here I can scroll down and there you are. I can pick, if I pick all groups, you can see that that all groups group has got all these groups in it, and I can manage it much more easily. I can move groups in and out of it. I can add another list, I can create lists. So if I'm selling different products, I can create lists for, say, health products, or I can create lists for internet marketing products, or I can create lists for bodybuilding products. I can control it that way. The other thing that's really good, you get a little bit of branding with this as well, and I'm going to try and show you that. So I'm going to go to my timeline. I don't take much notice of this, so hopefully it will show up on my screen. Yeah, there you go. There's one that was posted by Post Planner, and you can see down here it's got Normal Guy SC on Twitter, which is my handle on Facebook. And if I click that, I don't know what I've got on Twitter on there. I don't know where that came from. I must change that. If I click that, it's going to my Twitter account. Okay, I used to set that up some time ago to go to my Twitter account. I think that's, I'll change that actually. I haven't spotted that. But you can see you've got branding, and it's added that branding to the post. I'll go back to it in a minute. It's added that branding to that post there, which you wouldn't normally get. I put a link in so everybody sees your post has automatically got a link to wherever you want to divert them to. So that's like an added bonus. Now if I go back to my main Facebook page, just down here, this is my my Post Planner app. It's built into Facebook, so it's well integrated. And there are other things about it, but I don't want to go on and on about it. I think you've got the idea of mainly what it does. But I will give you a couple of warnings about it. You can queue up lots of posts so that you've got loads and loads of posts going out on the same day, and they're automatically going out. And because you've said, all right, I want this one to repeat every 10 days, or I want this one to repeat every 5 days, once you've started setting up lots of posts to do that, to go out at different intervals, they're going to start overlapping. So you want to be a little bit careful. Keep an eye on what you're doing so that you don't have 30 posts going out on the same day all of a sudden that you didn't realize you were actually posting. And Facebook takes notice of that and then starts giving you the Facebook slap by suspending you or something like that. You saw also that I had lots of groups that it sends out to. But you know, if you go and join 200 groups tomorrow, it's probably not a good idea to post to 200 groups straight away from scratch. It would be better if you say posted to 25 or 50 groups for a few days and then worked up to 100 and then 150 at, you know, a few days interval, so that Facebook don't get too upset with what you're doing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with you using Post Planner. It's a Facebook approved application, so you know it is meant to do what it is meant to do, but don't, I guess what I'm saying is just don't abuse it, don't go mad with it, you know, keep some control over it.
That's actually really good point, Stuart. Like, give us some do's and don'ts on using Post Planner outside of that. Like, what are some things that you found that you feel are way more successful and would take somebody some time to use this app in order to find out that's what, you know, like the most prominent thing you should be doing with it?
I find it's, I'm kind of still refining that a little bit. I mean, there are better times to send out your posts than others, that's for sure, and obviously it's better to send out when people are up and about in the US, probably, because that's where the majority of people are probably seeing your stuff anyway. That's the biggest market. And also, I'm finding that, oh, somebody's trying to contact me. I'm just going to kill that. I'm pretty sure it's a sales call.
Oh, we know it well. We know it all too well.
Some groups are also better than others. Some groups aren't very interactive, and if you go and look at them, you can see lots of people are posting to them, but nobody's actually commenting on anything or liking anything. It's just a lot of people shouting, and not many people sort of reading, if you like. It's a bit like, I used to think Twitter was like that. I used to think Twitter was lots of people shouting, but nobody is actually taking attention of what's going out. But actually, that's not true. I do get some quite good stuff out of Twitter. But I think it can be a little bit like that with the groups here. The non-interactive groups are probably not as good as the ones where people are interacting and commenting. So I was kind of just joining groups left, right, and centre to start with, but I've started to become more selective now, and I'm either picking big groups because, you know, it's a bit like, you know, a scattergun principle. If you post out to a big group, some people are going to see it, but I think groups that are interacting more are probably better. And that's one thing that Post Planner won't do for you. It won't interact with people for you. It will get you out there and get you noticed and get your stuff posted, but then you still have to keep an eye on what's going on and interact with people a little bit. I also found off the back of Post Planner, the EdgeRank's kind of important, and I don't know if you've read or heard anything about EdgeRank. I actually did a little post on that recently because, for example, EdgeRank is the algorithm that Facebook uses to decide what's important to you, in fact. Some of it's kind of general, like it thinks photos are much more important than status is, and photos are more important than linked posts as well. So if you post a link, it thinks that's more important than a status, but it thinks the photo is more important than a link. But if you've got a status that goes out and lots of people are commenting on it, then it'll consider that more important, and that governs what priority it posts things on your feeds, your news feeds of what people are posting on your timeline, for example. There's other things that it considers, like what's the relationship between you and the person that you're talking to. If you're communicating with somebody often, like your brother, for example, then it's going to consider that person's posts more important than somebody that you haven't talked to for the last year. So interacting is still important. You know, just because you're blasting away with Post Planner or whatever you are posting to lots of groups and lots of fan pages with, you still need to interact to make it work properly. But there are some people that I've met out there that do blast out their ads and their content to groups and not interact that much, and if you blast enough of it out for long enough, you are going to get some result. You know, I mean, I've tested that, just blasting stuff out, and I do get people responding and people opting in to various things, or I see them clicking through and reading the blog posts that I've put out. It still works, but it is much better if you interact. There's one other thing that's kind of a bit neat, that's quite neat about Post Planner that I'll mention, which is kind of an odd one, and I haven't actually verified this, but according to the guys at Post Planner, it is kind of quite an important thing, really. Each Post Planner that somebody gets is individual to that person. It's a separate app. The reason that's important is because Facebook apparently have this thing where you can hide all posts. So if somebody sends you a post and you don't want to see posts from that person anymore, you can hide all their posts. They're still getting posted, but you're not looking at them anymore because you said, I don't want to know about those. And that applies to an app as well. So if somebody's posting to you from an app and you say, I don't want to see those posts from that app anymore, then anybody who uses that app and posts, you're not going to see any of those posts. So if Fred is using that particular app and he posts to you and you've blocked him, you're going to block George and Mary as well. But because Post Planner is a separate app on its own, if somebody blocks the post from one person, they're not going to block the post from other people that are using Post Planner, which means the result of that is that you're not going to get penalized for somebody else's spammy stuff if somebody else is using Post Planner in a bad way, because your app is individual to you. Now, I don't know if that came across very clear, because that's not that easy a thing to explain, but the fact that Post Planner as a separate app is an advantage over using an app that's shared by lots and lots of people. For instance, Hootsuite might have an app that plugs into Facebook, I don't know, and everybody's using the same app. Now, I haven't verified this, so I'm just saying that this is supposed to be a good benefit that I haven't actually tested it out myself, and I do like to test things out. The other thing that I won't go into too much here is there's a content engine as well in Post Planner. So if I can't think what to post out on a particular day, I'm a bit running low on ideas, then it'll suggest some things like, for example, some questions. If I want to think, oh, I'll just put a question out and ask a question, it'll suggest some questions and I can refresh that. And then if I fancy one of the questions or one of the things they're saying, I can just click it and it puts it there ready to post. It'll also do that with blogs and Facebook pages. So I can go and source. Hopefully this will come up. It takes a little while sometimes. Basically, I can go and get other people's material and I can post it saying, hey, I saw this really good blog post. And I just wanted to share it with you, and hopefully it's going to come up. There you go. Oh, no, that's not it. I lied. Right. I'm an expert at the moment. This is really for the next level up, but I don't know if it's going to work. There we go. Okay. I think it's going to. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm fumbling here. I wrote a review on this and I changed to Guru. And Guru is the highest level on Post Planner and gives you access to everything. And then I dropped back to Expert because I don't normally use this side of it. But for example, if I pick my own blog, there you are. I've got all my content from my blog. I've plugged my blog into Post Planner, and it displays me all the posts I made. So if I click that and say add to publisher, it's adding it ready to post. But I can access other people's blogs, and I'll see if that comes up. So I can access, for example, I can access Post Planner's blog pages through Facebook. So there you are. I haven't got an idea. I don't know what to post today. I'm struggling for ideas. I can pinch one of theirs and I can say, I can add it there, and I can say, I saw this great post from Post Planner guys. So you can do that. So there's a whole raft of information you can access to post, and you can add to that. You can add RSS feeds from other blog posts. So you can add other people's blogs. You can add your own blogs, whatever, and access that. One last thing I think I'm going to show you today, because this is probably quite a lot, and I know I get a little bit intense with techie stuff sometimes, is there's a thing called Insights, which will show you the stats, which you can filter. You know, you can pick out where you want to see this week's, the last 10 days, a month, what type of post, statuses, photos, links, and you can see, you know, whether people liked them, whether they commented on them, whether they clicked on the links, that kind of thing. And you can see here when they went out. So, you know, you can see what's working and what's not working. And like I said earlier, if anything does go wrong with it, support is brilliant. There is one little tiny thing here called this little green circle thing here, which is if anything does go wrong, you can hit that. As you can see, it will refresh the whole app. So if something screwy does go a bit weird, you can just click that and it kind of clears all the crap out and sets you back to the beginning again. So it's a kind of a rescue button, if you like. There's a few other things that it does, but I think that's probably quite a lot, and that gives you the main points about how powerful it is. There's a user guide on it, so if you did get it, and you wanted to find out about how to do things, there is a user guide. I'll also post. In fact, I put this on a website when I can find it. Right, I wrote a review on this on my blog site. I've actually pointed a domain to it. So I'm going to put this and post it. Satori Prime comments. That didn't decode. There you go. So that's my review, which tells you pretty much all the things that I've told you on here, and probably covers a few more things in more depth. So if you want to look at that, yes, my links are in it. If anybody does want it, my links are in there. So if you do decide to get it, that would be great. So I think that's pretty much it. If anybody's got any questions,
let me ask you a few things here, Stuart, just from my own curiosity,
sure.
And then if you want, you can also refresh that page that you're looking at. There are some questions there for you as well, so it's cool that you can see them. My question is, so what kind of content are you generally posting? Because I noticed you did some solo ad training that you posted. Are you writing your blog posts and generally sharing that? Like, what kind of content are you normally sharing?
When I share to all the groups, I do share sort of direct ads. So it will, I will post a link to a squeeze page every now and then. I don't do it all the time. And I also use Postmagic as well, which I know you guys use. So I post those out. I post blog posts. Most of the blog posts go to all the groups or pages or whatever. But what I don't post out to all the groups, I still keep it local to my timeline or my fan page, is stuff that's maybe more personal to me. So, if I'm saying, oh, I went out and I went to see a band the other day, or I don't know, something that I don't think all the other groups would want to get blasted with, if you like. Something that's not really relevant to those groups, I wouldn't post that out to them. So I'll post mostly blog posts, effectively ads, that go to lead page, lead capture pages. If there's like a photo that's a good motivational photo, I'll post that out. If I've seen a good video by maybe say Jay or Stuart or you guys, I might post that out and say, hey, look what's happening here. I had a great picture of a bear. I'm going to see if I can find it, because this was really neat. And I just thought it was a great motivational one. I would post this out to all of them.
I just want to point out real quick, Stuart, and to everyone here on the webinar, guys. Notice how Stuart never once said that he posts direct to offer, that he's never just posting a landing page to six-figure mentors. Everything he just said is about relationship building. It's about giving people value. It's giving them a reason to check out who he is, what he's about, and that traffic over time is what's giving him results. Because Stuart, what kind of results are you actually seeing from this? Like, estimate how many leads per day do you think you're generating just from doing what you're doing?
It varies for different things. Sometimes I'll get a little batch. Like I sent out a thing to a little program where you could trial something and get some money for trying it, where they were leveraging the money that people were paying for advertising to get people to try things out. And I had about 17 opt-ins off of that, off of one blast. Sometimes it just trickles in like 5 or so opt-ins a day. And some of that comes in off of the stuff that I'm blasting out to the groups, and some of it's coming in off of the more personal stuff that I put out. So I won't say it's all that I get through Post Planner, but of course some of the personal stuff I schedule out with Post Planner to go out on my timeline and fan page as well. So it's definitely working, but I do get more effect by being more interactive. I think that's true. Because people will comment on the stuff that I post out, especially the blogs. and then I'll go back and I'll comment on what they've commented or like their comments, and then they'll talk a bit more, and then the next thing I know, they've opted in.
Right.
And I do post out sort of landing pages for SFM now and again as well.
And that's kind of what I want to hit home here, actually, is what you just said. You know, even if at a bare minimum, I mean, like Stuart, you only spend a few minutes a day probably doing this, you know, because you know your way around the system really well. I know you're kind of, you know, when you're showing it, you're tinkering around, you're trying to remember all the things that you do. But I would wager for the most part, you're probably spending, you know, no more than 10 minutes a day. So what I want to point out here, guys, is look, you know, I think the monthly investment, because I looked while you were doing it, because it's an app that I could see us using with some of the strategies that we use. It's about $19 a month. Even if you're doing only 5 leads a day, that's an extra 150 leads a month for $19 a month. That breaks down to about 12 cents per lead. That's a pretty good return on your investment when you're talking about how much it actually costs to get a lead today.
Yeah, I mean, I think just think about the time. I did a video. I did the numbers on it. I mean, if you're posting, let's just say you post 2 hours a day, you're spending posting to your pages and to groups, and you can get Post Planner to do that in 3 minutes. Well, 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, it's 10 hours a week you're spending posting, and you can cut that down to sort of 10 or 15 minutes for the whole week instead of spending 10 hours. You know, how much, you know, you can use all that time to do other productive things, or even just personal things. You know, it's more, you know, you create in spare time. So, I mean, if you said, okay, I'll put a cost on my time, and you said it was, say, just to say it was $10 an hour for argument's sake, then that's, you know, 10 tens or 100. That's $100 worth of time you've just got back, if you like.
Sure.
And used to do other things. So it's not just the power of what you can post out to and schedule out, but it's the time you're getting back. I mean, if you add this up like 10 hours a week, how much is that in a year? You know, I mean, that's probably 3 weeks or something like that. So yeah, you're saving a huge amount of time, and you can use that time to interact, for example, instead. You can use some of that time, instead of posting out like crazy, you can interact. And I know some people that are using Post Planner, and, you know, they're not posting out to 150 or 200 groups, they're posting out 500 or 600 groups. You know, they're doing it, and they're not getting a Facebook slap for it. The only time I got slapped by Facebook, I got suspended for 2 days for putting a single post out manually on my timeline that was promoting a good cause and a recognized charity. That's the only time I ever got slapped.
Interesting.
I've never got slapped for putting out to 150 groups. You know, even if I put something out I wasn't, you know, that maybe I was worried about, and I thought, I'm not sure if this is a good thing to put out on Facebook or not, but I'm going to put it out because it's so neat. But I hope they're not going to slap me for it, and I didn't get anything. It's crazy. See, you don't always know what they're going to slap you for, really.
Yeah, and they don't even tell you. That's the kind of scary part with Facebook.
Yeah, you can't complain. But, you know, I think that this app is okay because it's a Facebook app. You know, as far as I know, you can't put an app on Facebook if they're not approving of it, if they don't approve it. So, you know, I think they do approve of it, you know, otherwise they wouldn't let it go.
Sure.
So, yeah, it's great. It's a great tool, and there's a bit of scheduling on Facebook you can do on the normal posts, I know that, but this is the thing that I think is totally missing from Facebook. I mean, it just makes the whole thing awesome. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling on there.
Stuart, so, I wrote down a bunch of questions, and I was kind of going through the message board while you were talking, so let me fire off a few questions, and this one came up a few times actually, which is how do you find groups and how do you join groups?
Okay, good question. You just go in the search and you can put things like, let's put internet groups. And they'll start coming up. So if I just pick one, so if you could put home business, they'll start coming up here. You can see their groups, open group, open group, open group. So let me just pick this one, Internet Marketing School. It says up here on the right notifications, and that's telling me I'm already in that group. So just look for something else, see if I can find one I'm not in. No, I'm in that one as well. Let's try health groups.
Stuart, do you only look for open groups?
No, not just open groups. Don't know what that is. As long as they'll let me join, you know, closed groups are okay. You can't see everything that's going on if you're not part of it.
Yep.
But maybe, you know, closed group is better. Maybe the people are more interactive and more selective, you know, because some of these groups will let you post absolutely anything. I'm just going to try and find one. I got somewhere else I can go if I can.
Stuart, while you're doing that, I just want to give everyone a caveat here, because we run a lot of groups as well, and we run a lot of pages, obviously. So a lot of groups, guys, and this is why Guy, I think, made a very good point. You know, if you're just going to start using this thing to throw up landing pages and links to affiliate offers and stuff like that, you will get banned from that group faster than you can post it the second time. So just keep in mind that if you're getting this tool, the tool is to basically give people great value. You can drive them back to, like, you know, what Stuart did with the post planner review. Like, you can drive them back to articles that you've written. You can drive them back to your blog. You can drive them back to like an infographic that I posted here. But be very wary of just throwing a bunch of affiliate links on.
Yeah. And furthermore to that point, guys, you know, like something that we have found that works really well, and this is something you all learn in SFM through the Digital Bloggers platform. If you just look at the structure of that page, right? That page is self-promoting by its very nature. Your job really is just to get traffic over there. And the reason that you're going to get opt-ins from that page is when you deliver value content from people, when you're giving them news that they can use, essentially, right? So if you write a blog post, even if it's a short blog post, Elon and I have been experimenting with this quite a bit recently, even if it's just a very short blog post with a video somewhere in the middle there that's a few minutes in nature, and you send a little, you could do paid traffic, you don't have to do paid traffic, but the traffic that's coming through that post, people are going to like the post, and then, you know, your post on your page should also have an option to share and like and all those kind of things. And you can double dip it. So the nature of content on Facebook is nothing more than to drive content to the places where you want people's eyeballs on. The more eyeballs you can get to your blog, you know, let the sidebar, let the header, if there's an opt-in up there, let that do its job. And your job is to create value content for that specific niche so that the people in your niche are finding the content on your page, and then they're naturally going to opt in because they feel like you have something to provide for them. And that's what Stuart's doing here so well. And if you actually look at some of his more recent posts, it was all about training people around how to do solo ads, right? So obviously, if someone's interested in promoting solo ads, it's reasonable to perceive that they're interested in internet marketing and perhaps having a home business, or they're looking for another opportunity. You never know, but he's driving the right kind of traffic back to his page, and that's what's turning into leads, and that's what's turning into sales.
Yeah, there was a good ratio I heard the other day, and that is post 80% value content, and then 10 or 20%. I'm adding this little bit, 10-20% promotional content, and 10 to 20% sharing other people's content, because people like it to start noticing if you start sharing their content. I try and like most or comment on most of the people that like my stuff or comment on my stuff. I can't always answer everybody because it's like a full-time job sometimes, but I try to keep on top of it more or less. And I've had lots of people started following me off of groups and then start telling me about other great things, like you know, other groups that are doing specific things, or they start talking to me about what they're doing and asking me what I'm doing. And those are all coming off the blog posts that I'm just sort of sending out to these groups. You know, people are coming back, and I can see them. I can see people that are regularly following me because it's the same people liking my stuff or commenting on my stuff. And I notice that people start to get quite loyal as well. But coming back on the getting dumped from groups, I mean, if you join a lot of groups, you're going to get dumped from some of them, because even if your content is good, if some of those groups you're not interacting, they're going to dump you out, because they're the sort of groups that like people interact. And you're never going to interact with 100 groups. It's not going to happen. So, and some people might not even let you join a group. For instance, I've got a group up here that says the health group. There's a join button here, and if I click that join group button, it will go to cancel request. So if I decide I don't want to join them, and I've noticed that most of them will accept my join request within a day or two, sometimes instantly. But some of them will just sit there, and I cancel the request, and I hit the join again, and then usually the second or third time around, they let me join, because they're not always looking at the join requests, I guess. They're not always on top of the group. Depends how well they're running the group, I guess. And some of them never let me join. They just never do. And that's either because they don't want me, maybe, or maybe it's just because nobody bothers with the group very much. You know, it's still functioning in the group, but nobody's paying attention to it. Nobody's administering it anymore. And that could be happening as well, because I'm pretty sure people don't clear up after themselves half the time. So, you know, they started a group a year ago, they abandoned it 6 months ago, but people are still posting to it, but nobody's administering it. So, yeah, so join. But if you join a group and they don't let you in after a few days or a week or something, cancel and try joining again. Try it a few times. And don't be upset if a few people do chuck you out of the group. But like you know, and guys say, if you start getting spammy, then you'll get a bigger dropout rate where people will check you out of their groups. The other thing that I see, and I see this a lot on the groups as well, if people start spamming people's posts by putting their links in the comments in a kind of buy my stuff kind of way, people get on their backs pretty fast. People really don't like that.
Yeah.
I never do that. I only ever do that. I only ever put a link into my stuff if it's relevant to the comment trail. So if people are starting to talk about something, and I can say, well, actually, I'm doing this, and I don't know if you're interested, and I'm not, you know, trying to spam you or anything here, but here's my link to this, you know, if you're interested, because it's relevant to the trail. But it's when they come in and just dump their stuff onto the comments. I know you guys have said this over and over again.
Right. Yeah, so, I was going to say, from the many pages that we have lots of experience with that. But again, I'll tell you, you know, what's worked well for us is that indirect approach. Is, you know, for instance, you know, everyone's freaking out about Gmail right now, and I saw that you wrote an article about it. You know, that's something that's interesting to the industry. Like, what do you do about that problem? You put together a good article that gives people some ideas about, you know, how else to promote elsewhere, or maybe how to get their open rates back up, or something like that. And you post that into a group, people are going to want to read that. Now, if you have an opt-in page on your site, or if you have something that they can click on, or some kind of opportunity to look at, they're going to go look at that if they feel like they got value from your post. And that's really the way to market. You don't want to do the direct, like, here's my crap, buy it, like everyone else is doing. And that's how you really separate yourself. And like Stuart said, he called it the 80-20 rule. It's like a push-pull. You really want to be pulling a lot more than you want to be pushing. You want to be pulling people towards your content versus saying, you know, here's what I'm offering right away. You want to develop that relationship. It's critical and crucial to your success.
Yeah, the Gmail thing was a bit of a big one, but actually you might be able to sort of use it to your advantage. I mean, people can go back to the old Gmail look. They can get rid of the new tabs if they want to. But I also, whilst I was checking it out, I also learned that if you move somebody's email from one of those social tabs into, say, your main inbox, then all the emails that come in from that person the next time, or that email address, will go into your inbox. You've said more or less, or it prompts you or something. You said, I want these emails not to go into my social tab or my promotional tab. I want them to come to my inbox. Right. So in a way, if people are doing that, you're up in the quality. You know, I'm looking at a plus side of it. but yeah, it's true. Some of them might get buried in the social tab that nobody looks
Sure.
at. I don't know. I always look at the tabs anyway, but because I always like to. I even want to know what my spam is, just in case something's good in the spam that shouldn't be there. But that's just me.
Sure.
But maybe it'll work out well with the Gmail thing. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think of that.
Well, our approach is always the same. It's let's wait and see. Everyone in this industry, every time something changes, is calling for doomsday and the end of the world. And it was the same thing years ago when Facebook changed their fan pages and they went to the tab platform instead of the icons on the left-hand side. Everyone claimed that Facebook was dead and no one can make money there anymore. And Elon and I took the exact opposite approach. And it's funny because the same thing happened with Gmail. I saw all these, big top guys sending out their desperation haymaker emails to try to get everyone to move their emails over to their inbox, which I can tell you no one's going to do anyway, or a very, very small minority of your list will do. So it's kind of a waste of an email, and it just calls for desperation and is the exact opposite of the messaging that they've probably been telling their list for years. So the one article I know Elon and I found was like this really valuable, like why not to freak out about the Gmail change, and it was basically making fun of the whole thing, and like the industry is always changing, and keep your head up, and all these kind of things, and it was really motivational and funny, and that content went viral. It was like all over Facebook. It had been shared thousands of times, versus like someone who sent out an email and that got shared like 5 times. So it just goes to show you, like, what do people want? They don't want to hear that the end of the world is coming. They want to hear, like, fine, that happened. Now what do we do about it? And I know when Elon and I came out with our first product, that's exactly what we did. We just leveraged the exact opposite of what everybody else was doing, and it just made us stand out. And that's pretty much how we got our break in the industry.
Yeah, find the positive aspects, isn't it?
Yep.
Really find the opportunity.
Yeah.
Thing.
Stuart, real quick.
There's always.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that was it. I was going to say, is there any more questions?
Yeah, so I just want to reiterate something that someone said here. Catherine Payne just asked, can you join groups as your fan page, or it must be your personal, which Sandra actually answered her. It kind of depends on the group, which, some groups will let you join personally, some groups will let you join as a business. Stuart, have you joined most groups as the personal page or the business page?
I've not really consciously done this, but I think I've mostly joined as myself.
Okay.
Really, because it's myself. It's yourself. You're kind of selling, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
In this context, anyway. I think if you were a brand like a product, like I don't know, like Apple, for example, or something like that, then you'd be doing it as a business because you're all about that brand. But we kind of are our brand, aren't we?
Sure.
If you like. So I would guess that a personal approach would be better. But I don't know. Hadn't messed around with it. What do you think about that?
I think you can do both. I think most groups prefer that you are your person, like your personal account, which is fine. Guys, what you can do is, like, if you have a personal account and then you have a business page, again, the content that you're posting should direct people to, like, your blog, to a video you might have made, to some information that you found, things like that would lead them back to find you somehow anyway. So it shouldn't matter all that much. Should be the end of would be the bottom line answer.
I guess there is something you could logically do about that, and that is if I got lots more friends than I got likes on my fan page. So whichever page is doing better, maybe, if your business page is booming, maybe that in some way is a better way to go. Join us that. If your personal page is booming, then maybe that's a better way to join in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't really thought about this too much. I haven't.
All right. I personally wrote down a few questions for you as you were going through this. The first one was, you showed before that you dropped the URL and then you checked that box, and it basically deleted all of the like article text or whatever and just left the photo. You know what I'm talking
Yes, it did. Yeah, I know exactly what you're
Okay.
talking about. I'm going to go back to Post Planner.
about? My question is this. When they click on the picture, so like the picture will show up. When they click on the picture, does it take them to the article? Does it take them to the article? Where does it take them?
I think it just expands the photo. Let's do it. So if I pick a photo,
I think the photo actually came from the article itself, though. Like it pulled it off the link, and then you removed the
oh, I see what
text.
you mean.
So we were wondering whether it's just uploading the picture, and when people click on the picture, does it take them to the article, or is it just kind of like uploading a photo to Facebook and then the link is in the sidebar?
I post a lot of links, not so many photos, but let's go and do it.
Okay. Yeah, just do what you normally do, because I think that's what we were curious about. Because if it's posting, if you're removing the text and then when people are clicking on the picture, it's going right to the article. It's very powerful.
Yeah, this was the exact article you used.
Right.
So let's go back to that one. Right, here's an example. If it's not doing anything, because I started doing the photo thing, so I'm just going to refresh it.
Okay.
Oh, because you started originally
Yeah.
posting a photo. Yeah.
So I started a photo. So I'm going to refresh the page.
Technology. Technology.
Yeah, it is brilliant, but you know it's not 100%. No bit of software is ever perfect, is it?
Nope.
So it's going to come up now with the. Whilst it's doing that, I'm just going to write something in the status box. There you are. So I'm going to pick that, and instead I decide to change it to a photo. So I click that. It puts the link back up there, and it's going to publish that. So it's just going to go. I'm going to put it to. I think it's just going to go to my page of the thing. Oh God, what's happening there? An error occurred. All right. Just bear with me a minute.
Yep.
Yep.
No, there is no bear with me. I lied. Right. What is it doing?
Oh, it's not letting you post to your page right now.
I think it's doing that. I know you're demonstrating me, so I'm going to play up a little bit. I think it just goes as a photo. I think if you click the photo, it will just become big, but it will have the link in the comment. We're back again now. I'm going to go to my profile there. It somehow got rid of that. There's the green rescue button again. Right, I think it's behaving. Let's just wait for that. So, as I was saying, check this. What's doing that? There we go. I'll pick that. I'm going to go as a photo instead. There, it's post now. Thank you. That'll. It's just setting up the posts. So that's going to go to my timeline. So I'm just going to go back to my timeline. And it usually takes a few minutes before it actually comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like, if you got something else to add, I'll just keep refreshing this.
So we'll keep refreshing and come back to that. Curious. Okay. 2, when you posted, on the bottom you had that Twitter account there. what other options can you do instead of Twitter? So like, could you have another, could you have your blog link? Could you have, I don't know.
How can you?
Yeah, you can change that a bit. I think I've screwed up somewhere along the line with that, so I'm gonna change it now, and you'll see. So if I go to settings, and it should go to that, in fact. So let's just change it. Just for now, I'll just put my landing page in there. So there you are. There's my landing lead capture page, standard SFM1. So now, when I do the next ones, it should, if they click that link, it should go to that page.
Okay, and
The only thing that you can't control.
So what will it say on the bottom? Because before it said like Twitter.
There's my photo. There it's come in.
Okay.
So it said,
Okay.
and it's not saying that. It's not actually giving that.
Got you, son. All right, click on the
Landing there.
click on the
What's
picture.
happened to that? But there's.
Yeah.
Just click the picture.
Yeah.
And yeah, it does. So, but you've got the link here, but it is just a picture. It would be awesome if it went straight to the link.
Yeah,
That would be awesome.
That's what we were like.
Yes,
Oh my
because it's
god.
only, well, it's only in the end doing what you could, pretty much what you could manually do on Facebook,
Sure.
as far as the posting is concerned. There's that branding back. Let's see where it goes to now. Maybe it'll go to the right place now. No, it's still going to there.
Twitter. I still think that's a pretty cool option.
I think I broke something there. Sorry, carry on.
I said it's a pretty cool option though that you can take out the text, because I will tell you, our experience is that like that second post versus the one that's below it will get a lot more visibility, a lot more likes and shares than the post where it kind of creates that gray box. So the fact that you can actually pull the image out like that and just put it as an image post, in our experience, that should actually drive more traffic.
Well, that's something I'm probably going to do more of, because up to about a week or two ago, Facebook wouldn't let apps post photos to groups. And I was talking to the guys at Post Planner, and they were saying it's a real pain in the butt that we can't do it, because we get people that want to do that in Post Planner and get quite upset about the fact that they can't, but they have to say, well, it's not because we don't want you to post photos to all these groups, it's just that Facebook won't let us do it through an app. But Facebook do, a couple of weeks ago they decided that they were going to allow that. So now you can post photos to all these groups, where you could before. If you tried to do it before, it would either give you a warning, or back in earlier times it would post it out but the photo wouldn't be there. You'd see the status, you wouldn't see the photo. But now you can. So I'm going to be posting more photos, like you say, out to all these groups now that I can do that. And that was the real missing part out of Post Planner. Well, not Post Planner, Facebook apps, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, we are so much more visual, aren't we? Than
For sure.
text.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. I could just tell you from running so much paid advertising and sponsored ads that a photo post versus just like the one where it fills it in for you, in general, does much, much, much better. I have a quick question here from Kana, which I think I can answer too, but you're free to give your 2 cents on it. He writes, is it better to post in pages or in groups as a general rule? Kind of just from our experience, especially as page owners of many, way too many pages, when people post to our pages, they have their own little section on the right-hand side of the screen. So that, generally speaking, we don't allow other people's posts to show up on our timeline, because obviously we want to control the conversation. So there's a lot less visibility if you're personally posting to someone else's page. However, in a group, you are going to be right there, unless they have like a featured post. But some groups will actually have to approve every post as well. So it's kind of a toss-up depending on what kind of group you're in. Again, anytime I see a group or page where all people are doing is just throwing in their affiliate links and telling you how great their system is and making money, I don't stick around in those groups at all. So just be careful about what you're posting.
I've mostly done groups, but I think if you do a page, I think it'd be good as page as long as you're kind of aware of what that page is about. I wouldn't sort of discriminately start posting to lists of pages if I, wasn't sure that each of those pages it was okay to do it to. I think you could probably, they're a bit more, I know, I wrote a blog about which is better, or no, I wrote something about which is better, a group or an actual fan page, because they're actually not that dissimilar in many ways, but they do something slightly differently, and the groups are much more free for all. So I think I would be more selective about picking pages out, because I think you could, somebody owns that page. It's not just a group of people, or maybe a business owns that page. So you're posting on their you're posting on their space, aren't you? Really. So it depends what the group the page is about, I guess.
Sure. Yeah.
All
right. Sure. I have another question here.
Yeah.
In Post Planner, I know that you showed like there's ways to search for content. Is there a thing in Post Planner that actually lets you search for content that was specifically highly shared or highly commented on or anything like that?
Yeah, I probably can't show you this because this is a level above. There's a free trial that you can do with Post Planner. There's a level called Expert where you can do about 70% of what you can do, and there's a level called Guru, which costs more, of course, and then you get a lot more content related things, and one of those things, if it will come up, is trending. So you can see what popular content is showing up according to keywords that you put in. So the answer is yes, I guess.
Wow. Okay. So you basically, to get Guru status, you just pay more?
You pay more, yeah. If I look at the plans, it is, if you go here, there's a free trial, but it really is a free trial. Really, you can't do so much with Post Planner for free. You really, to get the best out of it, you have to be at least an expert, and that's $19 a month. A Guru is $29 a month. An agency where you've got groups of people working on your Facebook pages is $79 a month. Most of us probably won't get involved in that. And the other thing I should say is the affiliate, as long as you're an expert or Guru, the affiliate program is free to sign up to with Post Planner. So you can, if you can sell a few Post Planners, then it can kind of pay for itself, or you can make a profit out of it, like a lot of these products.
Sure.
So it still hasn't come up yet. It's because I haven't got it. I can usually show it even though I can't use it.
Yeah. So right now, what you showed us, you are at the expert level.
I am at the expert. I upgraded to Guru to write my review about it. There you go, trending internet marketing. I don't think it's going to let me access this. No. See, it's saying only Gurus can curate trending content. The Guru. So I did upgrade for a few months to Guru so that I could write a review and knew what I was talking about and knew what I was looking at. And I thought, I don't really need this right at the moment. I'll go to Guru when I can really take advantage of that. Because I got lots of other things that I'm doing as well, and I'm kind of using Post Planner to do the things that I need to do right at the moment. So, but yeah, this could be, if you got down into it, this could be really powerful, the trending internet marketing, because you can leverage what people are interested in and get in there with those people, can't you, really?
Yeah,
So, that answer that question, do you think?
absolutely, absolutely. I'm very curious to see how that trending function works.
Yeah, we're definitely going to give this a go. I mean, for what we do on Facebook, creating viral content is critical. So if we could see what's out there already trending, what's becoming viral, obviously having that piece of information would be enormous.
Yeah, I think that'd be powerful things, but you just got to use them. You just don't always use everything. So yeah, is there any more questions?
I think that was the only question. Let me see, refresh it again.
Cool. Yeah, I think we're good. All right, guys. So look, that was some pretty cool training. If you if you take it, that was some pretty cool training. Oh, okay, I hear myself. Sorry. If you take everything that we've taught you in terms of content creation, what works on Facebook, and you couple it with this, we kind of did a quick breakdown here of the value that a product like this can provide for your business, and actually how cheaply you can create leads. And I'm sure like 5 leads a day is probably ultra conservative. I'm sure there are days where you do like 20 and more around that using this kind of tool. So it's up to you if this is something that you want to try with your business. You saw Stuart's link in there in the comment box. He's got a nice review for you guys to read. So if you want to get his 2 cents on it, obviously you see how he uses it. Feel free to click on there and check it out for yourself. But is there any closing words from you, Stuart? Anything you want to share?
No, I think I probably chatted an awful lot. Is about it. I think you can see what it can do. I mean, I concur with what you guys say about Facebook. From my experience, I don't think I'm as far down the line as you are with Facebook by any means. But I mean, validating what you say by what I'm doing, I think definitely. I've certainly got it down to do more interacting myself. I'm always thinking I'm not really doing enough interacting with people, and I'm starting to notice people doing more direct approaches on Facebook where they're coming to you and they're striking up a conversation as well, and they're doing it for the back of something that they've seen that you've published as well, and then they're trying to sort of saying, I'm doing this, are you interested? And you can say, well, I'm doing this, are you interested? And maybe you are together. So I think interacting is so important in this, and this can free up more time to do that as well. I don't think I've got anything else more to say than I've said probably. Well, I think I'm all washed out there.
Well, Stuart, I really want to acknowledge you and thank you for stepping out here. I know for most people, when I ask, they're like terrified of even the concept of coming out here. You were a yes from the get-go. Even with all the crap that happened, like literally 15 minutes before, Post Planner busted on Stuart, and he contacted me. He's like, oh my God, I'm contacting support, but I don't know if I can do it, and he made it happen. So, amazing. I learned a ton. I think Guy and I got a behind-the-scenes look at a really cool tool that I think we're going to start messing with for sure, because it just fits into what we're doing. And for the rest of you guys, look, as far along, like Stuart's saying, like we're far along in Facebook, we never, ever, ever stop learning. There's never a time where we are not a student, ever. We never feel like we've gotten somewhere. We never feel like we know all there is to know. If you are not a consummate student, then you are missing the point of this type of online world. So for the rest of you guys, just keep learning, keep trying different things, and again, I'll reiterate, we would love to at least once a month have someone come out, or a couple of you come out. You don't have to do all the time like Stuart did today, which was awesome. Maybe we can get 2 of you guys to come out and do 2 different strategies. But we'd love to get you guys more involved and teaching the rest of the community. So, Stuart, I really, really want to thank you for taking the reins. I think you probably opened a lot of people's eyes to both the Post Planner as well as what's possible for them inside of this community. And I really, really thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for the opportunity. Really, it's yeah, it's good. It's not something I've done a lot of webinars, so it's good for me to do it. I think as well. I think
Absolutely.
it's good,
Absolutely.
Take the jump.
And Stuart, I will just tell you one other thing. And I haven't watched your review, so I don't really know what the review was, but just something that's worked really, really well for us, and I think you definitely have the ability to do it, is, guys, you've probably seen Guy puts together like monthly, in the news type of thing. So if there's a tool like Stuart, you're really good at Post Planner and you've gotten great results from it, right? You create a couple of videos on how to use it. You post them on YouTube, you market them, you tie it together with an article and you promote that. That kind of stuff is the stuff that will actually get you, and I don't know what the commission structure is on Post Planner, but it's a beautiful residual income. If you get like 50 people paying, let's say an average of $20, $25 a month, and whatever you get out of that, that's definitely a few $100s in your pocket every single month. So that's something that's really worth promoting and even advertising to, because if you're going to give people that kind of value and that kind of content, they're going to naturally, like after a webinar like this, I'm sure a bunch of people are going to go and get Post Planner.
Yeah.
So you can literally use this strategy that you just portrayed, create a webinar, throw it on Evergreen, or create a couple of video series about this is how I use Post Planner, give it away for free. Give it away for free. Just give away those videos, and then have your link as the affiliate link for people to go and grab it. It's an unbelievably great strategy.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just tell you guys from something that we've done, and then that's a really good point, Elon. Thanks for bringing that up. Anytime you guys find a really great tool, you'll notice that a lot of times when we do our personal promotion, it's usually around tools. A, we never promote anything that we don't use, and we've said that in the past before. But, there's different opportunities out there all the time that come out, and people don't really know how to market them. If you can give them training on how to market it, and on the back end there's some kind of tool where they need to pay for it monthly, and it's a tool that you use and you're growing your business with that, like Elon said, if you give the training and make it easy for them to click to find the tool during the training, and you encourage them to sign up, and in the last 45 days, Elon and I have created an additional $1,000 a month residual income by doing something like that. So it's absolutely, you're right, and it's the whole point of learning this industry is that you can go out there and create unlimited streams of income. So anything you're good at, go out there and share it.
All right, kids.
With that said, Stuart, again, thank you so much. If you are available to people, I'm sure they'll want to ask you some questions. You guys know where to find them. And if you guys have questions for us, you know where to find us as well. And we'll meet you on here next week and do some great personal development. We'll work with everyone.
Thanks so much, Stuart.
Thank you. Thanks everyone who attended as well.
Bye, everybody.
Absolutely.